Has receiving your cat's attention become like a flip of the coin? Sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. If your cat is consistently inconsistent when it comes to responding to you and giving you some level of attention, well, welcome to the club. Cats, they love to live on their terms, more times than not, and we'll talk about those terms today. Your pet's mood, it can change with every passing minute. It's my way or the highway, and that could be the reason for you being ignored. My way as in your cat's way. Felines are very independent animals. Even if you've never owned a cat before and perhaps still don't, you've likely heard that one through the grapevine that cats love to move at the beat of their own drum. Cats aren't hardwired like dogs. Now, while there are certainly exceptions to the rule, if you were to call a dog, there's a good chance that they'd not only respond and come walking right over, but they'd do it with a smile and a tail wag. They'd be more than excited that you called them. A cat, well, welcome back to that coin flip again. You could call a cat and you might be lucky to get a glance over. And make no mistake, they heard you loud and clear, but felines don't typically associate their name with a call to action. If you get a response, it would be a glance or perhaps a meow, but not that get up and go that you'd likely receive from a dog. Your cat, I'm sure they love you to the moon and back, but sometimes your pet just needs a time out. Those moments to truly be a cat, to be in their own mood and in their own space. Interaction, the human interaction, well, cats love to turn that on and off, and they'll turn it off if they're in the midst of an independent streak. You do you and just leave me alone, just for a bit. The more you come to understand that cats aren't like dogs when it comes to, let's say, being needy, the more a cat's hot and cold behavior will start to make a lot more sense. Unless your cat is spoiled rotten and perhaps in those golden years, I think it's fair to expect some degree of distance from time to time. And that leads us to the topic of direct association and how your cat could interact with you. How you display that outward affection, how your pet displays that outward affection. Some cats, just like some people, they can be a bit more obvious than others when it comes to showing how much they truly care. Is your cat truly ignoring you, or are they just not showing you the affection and attention that you'd hope for? The affection that you'd wish for? It's important to understand where things stand in the big picture. And going back to our example with our dog friends with canines, I think you can come to expect that outward love and excitement from them. Now, there are certainly exceptions to that rule, but they've been coined man's best friend for a reason. And that reason isn't because they're passive and sit on the sidelines of life. Your cat, depending on their breed and personality, when they're ready to be social and spend time with you, you could receive that 5-star treatment. So much so that your cat has crawled all over you and is now rubbing against your face. On the flip side, the most your cat could show is simple acknowledgement and purring and just the access to allow you to pet them. It's affection, but it's a bit tame. Some cats just aren't too fond of the physical, being picked up and held. It goes back to being independent and in control. For some felines, being out of control, they can't tolerate it for more than just a few seconds at a time. If you feel that your cat is ignoring you, just take a time out and wait for your cat to initiate that first move. Never force the action. If your pet is ignoring you, just sort of let it happen. That mood will shift in due time, and eventually you'll be on the receiving end of your cat's attention, and it'll be on their terms. If your cat's attention to you has gone cold and you're being ignored, let's make sure that a health concern is not the reason. If your cat is not only ignoring you, but displaying lethargy, refusal to eat and drink, perhaps having bathroom issues, and no longer using that litter box, all of these signs can add up to something far more significant than simply your cat's personality or that independent streak. If your pet is not only ignoring you, but something is just not right, be proactive. You know your pet. Even when your cat ignores you, you still know the baseline of your cat's behavior and personality. If this time around it just feels different, please trust your instincts, especially if your cat's cold shoulder behavior has lasted longer than normal and your pet is resting in areas of your home that they usually just don't entertain. Please take your cat to the vet if they start to display outward signs that are very concerning. What about a change in the setting, a shift in the environment? If the routine has changed and that coffee table, well, it just wasn't there yesterday, your cat could be ignoring you as a means to assess the situation. It could be questioning their place in the world, at least for the time, and they need some space to be alone. The finer details. Cats aren't always able to adjust on the fly the way that humans do. If your cat is big on the territorial landscape of your home and something changes, they'll make an attempt to get better footing, figuratively, on their position in your home. Cats don't like to feel threatened, whether we're talking about something literal or something that they've perceived. A touch of trust could be lost in that moment, and the last thing your cat wants to do is pay attention to you. My advice, just give it time. If you introduce some new things into the home, respect your cat's space, give them time to adjust. Once they're cool with things, they'll let you know. Just be consistent in your daily actions, and let them know that nothing has really changed at all for them when it comes to your love and your care. What happens when you've given your cat too much of a good thing? Too many pets, too much playtime, just too much attention. What if things are going on in the home environment that have become a source of anxiety for your pet? Not a change in the routine per se, but just too much excitement. Things are a bit overwhelming for a host of reasons. If this is the case, your cat could be looking for a retreat. Think of it as a sugar high. You drink a bunch of energy drinks and then it just hits you. That come down, sluggish and half awake. The same can be said for felines and stimulations. There's going to be a crash if too much is given too fast and too soon. If your pet is ignoring you, it could be because they just need a break from you. They need a break from the excitement in the home. From time to time, we all need to decompress, even if we're only talking about 30 minutes. Your cat will need the same, especially if they're a bit high-strung and stressed from the adventures of the day. And well, what's the opposite of being high-strung? Let's call it silence. Sitting around, nothing to see, nothing to do. The time is passing away. If your pet has grown used to the routine of being bored, they might not jump at the chance to see you or engage with you because they're going to need more than to simply just have their name called. Unless you come bearing gifts in the form of treats or play toys, you just simply being there, it might not be enough for your cat to care. Just to be honest. If all your pet really knows in the home are those lazy days, calling their name so they can sit on the sofa with you isn't much of a thrill. No thanks, I think I'll just stay napping right over here. Your cat needs stimulation, physical stimulation, mental stimulation, and motivation to move. What's in a name, really? To a cat, not much, unless you have something that can truly grab your pet's attention. We are Senior Cat Wellness, of course, so what role does age play in this topic? A lot, and it's natural. The older cats get, the more they'd like to trade in those play sessions for more naps. This means they could be a bit less eager to entertain with you, unless that means a nap in your lap. Physical ailments, slower movements, your cat could simply be ignoring you because they just don't want to use up that energy. And they don't think it's worth it to walk over to you. Senior cats, they're in the picking and choosing phase of life now more than ever. They're in conservation mode, and if they can pass on something, whatever it is, in an effort to save the fuel in the tank, they'll certainly do it. This is especially true if you've proven to be inconsistent with the payoff. Your pet gets treats sometimes and then just a 5-second pat on the head other times. Your senior cat could just weigh the odds and think, I'm not getting up there. I'm not getting up at all near them. If there's a coin flip's chance that I won't get too much out of this whole experience. Your cat's not ignoring you. They're just more likely weighing the pros and cons. And for a senior cat, every movement counts, and sometimes that need to respond just isn't worth the energy. Your elderly cat loves you, but sometimes they'd rather do it from a distance and get to you on their terms. To the wonderful audience of Senior Cat Wellness, what are your thoughts on this topic? Do you have personal stories to share? As always, that comment section, it's all yours. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you later.